The most terrible poverty, Mother Teresa said, is loneliness and the feeling of being unloved. Hold that line for a moment. Feel the weight of it. Loneliness as poverty, not a lack of money, but a lack of warmth. Not an empty wallet, but an empty chair where someone should be sitting. I want to tell you a simple story. She once found a man lying in the gutter, covered in flies, forgotten by everyone who passed by. She lifted him gently, cleaned his wounds, and brought him to a place where he could be loved. I have lived like an animal in the street, but now I will die like an angel, loved and cared for. Now listen carefully. He did not say, "Now I have money." He did not say, "Now I have a house." He said, "Now I am loved." That is the hunger that nobody sees when they rush by the hunger to be seen, to be held, to belong. Mother Teresa believed that hunger for love is harder to satisfy than hunger for bread. She felt it in the eyes of the poor, in the silence of those who had no one to call them by name. She believed this is where our hearts are called today, to the lonely, to the ones who think no one notices if they are missing. Those are, it's just two, the ones who sit in a room at night and hear only the clock. What if today you changed one person's night? What if today you decided to be the answer to someone's loneliness? Mother Teresa's genius was not complicated. It was simple and strong. She would say, not all of us can do great things, but we can do small things with great love. Small things, a smile to the tired cashier, a phone call to your elderly neighbor, a knock on the door of the person who always eats alone. Small things with great love. She also said love begins at home. But it is sharp as a blade if you really hear it. Love begins at home, not on a stage, not in a dream, not somewhere far away. It begins with the people under your roof, the ones who sometimes irritate you, the teenager who stays behind a closed door, the spouse who is buried in worry, the parent who repeats the same story because they just want you to stay. Loveliness can live there too. If we are not careful, it thrives in our own homes. Think about your kitchen table. Who sits there and stares at their plate? Who leaves the room early because they feel no one is listening? Who has slowly stopped telling you how their day went because they think you Dante want to know? It doesn't take a grand speech to fix this. It takes chimi. It takes listening. It takes turning your face toward them and saying, "How are you?" Really, Mother Teresa worked in places where the streets were loud and the rooms were quiet. So, in those quiet rooms, she practiced something we all can do. Silence, she called it silence. We hear the names we have been ignoring. So try this with me. Just 60 seconds. Close your eyes later tonight and ask your heart, who is lonely near me? A name will come, maybe more. Don't push it away. That name is your mission. I remember a story from her sisters. See, a rich benefactor brought a heavy bag of rice to the convent because he heard the family down the road was starving, divided it in half, and walked to the house next door to that family. The donor was confused. Why give it away? He asked, "Does she are hungry too?" In a world of hunger, she looked for the one most easily forgotten, the neighbor of the poor among the poor. Here is the lesson for us. The lonely are not far away. The loneliness has neighbors. In your building, your office, your church, in the house next door, in the apartment down the hall. The lonely are not far away, they stays, and they are quietly waiting. Peace begins with a smile. Many people quote it as a cute phrase, but in her life a smile was not decoration, it was medicine. She put a smile in front of fear. She put a smile at the door of a room where someone was dying. Sezozu. Smile tells the lonely, "You are safe with me." A smile is how love begins, but Mother Teresa also knew this. A smile that costs you nothing is still costly in one way. It costs your pride. It costs your comfort. To give a true smile, you have to slow down. You have to turn. You have to look at someone and let them look back. And that moment is the bridge where loneliness collapses. Now, maybe you're thinking, I can't change all of this. Toa. I'm not a saint. I don't have a mission house. I don't have time. But she would say, if you can't feed 100 people, then feed just one. That's the secret. When you give up on the crowd, you give up on the one. But when you choose the one, the crowd slowly changes. One person at a time. Call the friend who stopped showing up. Don't but hasn't been outside in weeks. Did be lunch alone to sit with you. Get under a door that is always closed. Leave a warm drink on a cold doorstep. Whisper, I am thinking of you. These things seem small. They are small. They are possible. Tobava has. She washed feet. She bandaged wounds. She held hands that trembled. She sat beside the dying and listened to the last whispers of their stories. See, she did not ask, how can I fix everything? She asked, how can I love this person right now? Start there. Start small. Start now. There is another piece of her wisdom we must not miss. It is because we have forgotten that we belong to each other. Belonging is a strong word. It is a word with responsibility. To belong to each other means your tears are not just yours. It means your loneliness is my concern. And mine is yours. Think of the person who stands at the edge of the group. Think of the person who always says, I'm fine, in a voice that is too quick. Think of the person who always switches the topic away from themselves. They are asking for mercy without words. You can be the one who hears them. She loved the word together. Her sisters walked together. They prayed together. They carried the bed of the sick together. The body of loneliness breaks when we do things together. Today, can you bring someone alongside you to your walk, to your coffee run, to your errand? It's not about fancy invitations. It's about saying, "Come with me." And if you are the lonely one listening to this, take Mother Teresa's hand in a different way. She would sit quietly beside you. No pressure, no loud words, just presence. Then she would say something very simple. You are precious to God. You are wanted by Him. Let that fall into your heart. Wanted, chosen. Though the feeling of being unloved is a lie that repeats itself. Break it by telling the truth to yourself out loud. I am loved. A.B. Bong. And then, when you have even a little strength, reach out. Send one message. Ask for teeth. Tell someone I could use company. That is not weakness. That is courage. I want to pause and ask you something, and it matters. Who is the one lonely person you will reach out to today, so we can hold them in prayer together? And if you want more simple heart-level challenges like this, subscribe so you won't miss the next one. Back to her path. Mother Teresa taught that the work begins in prayer, not in noise, in quiet. In that silence, we receive the strength to keep loving when love is not returned right away. In that silence, we see people the way God sees them. To do this, sit for 2 minutes slowly. Imagine placing that lonely person's name into God's hands. Ask for light, then ask for a small practical step. Not a grand gesture, just the next step. She often told stories without making herself the hero. She told of volunteers who came to Calcutta and felt overwhelmed by all the suffering. She would smile and hand them a washcloth and say, "Wash one person," and by the end of the day, that volunteer would be glowing. But because their heart had opened, they discovered that joy is the secret companion of love. Joy returns to the heart that loves the lonely. This is another part of her wisdom. Joy is not found by hunting it. Joy finds you when you serve, when your hands move. Joy follows. When your eyes look up, joy slips back into your chest. It's a quiet joy, not loud, not flashy, but strong. There's a story of a woman in terrible depression who came to the missionaries of charity. She did not give her a speech. She gave her a task. There is a family nearby with nothing. She said, "Bring them food." The woman went out, cooked, carried the meal, and set it before the family. When she returned, her face was different. "I felt needed," she said softly. "I felt alive." Loneliness often says, "You have nothing to offer." Service answers. Offer what you have. A voice of visit, a smile, a simple meal, a short prayer, your presence. You do not need more than that. You need only love. Mother Teresa's humility was not shy, it was practical. She wore a simple sari. She slept on a simple bed. She owned almost nothing because the people in front of her needed to be seen instead. Humility makes room for the other. This is room for their story, the room for their pain to be spoken without interruption. So when you sit with the lonely, do not rush to fix you. Let there be silence between sentences. Let them breathe. Let them tell you the same story twice. Let them linger. Healing is not quick. Love is patient by definition. At the same time, Mother Teresa had a fierce edge to her gentleness. She did not apologize for the value of human life. She believed every person, from the tiniest child to the oldest grandparent, carries infinite worth, past reputations, past our fear. Each one of them is Jesus in disguise. She would say that is not poetry, that is a way of seeing. Try it. Look at the person who makes you uncomfortable and whisper, Jesus in disguise, at what changes inside you. You might ask, what if I try and the person pushes me away? Then love anyway, not with force, not with pressure, but with consistency, a gentle knock, a simple text, a steady smile. The lonely sometimes need time to trust. Your steady love gives them the courage to open the door. Bring this home, clear intention. Choose one person, put their name on a piece of paper. Tape it where you will see it. On the fridge, on your mirror, on the back of your phone. Each time you see it, say their name. Ask, how can I love them right now? Then act if you cannot act in person. Send a voice note, whisper a prayer, and plan a visit this week. Small things, great love. And remember, peace begins with a smile. Begin there. When you see that person, smile with your eyes, not just your mouth. Let your smile say, you belong, you matter, you are seen. That smile is a seed. Plant it, water it with time. Watch what grows. Mother Teresa saw the world's worst wounds, yet her words remain full of hope. She spoke about joy as if it were waiting just around the corner. She believed that when we love, we touch heaven. She believed that God does not ask us for success, only for faithfulness. You do not need to measure the result. You need to show up with love. Let me leave you with a simple rhythm for your day. Morning, a minute of silence, and ask, whom shall I love today? Noon, one small act for that person. Evening, give thanks for any sign of joy you saw. No matter how tiny, repeat, this is a path anyone can walk. The most terrible poverty is loneliness and the feeling of being unloved. But the cure is close. It is in your smile. It is in your phone, in your willingness to knock on one door and say, I was thinking of you. You don't need to travel far. As she liked to say, find your own Calcutta. It may be the apartment next door. It may be your grandmother Essie living room. empty. It may be your coworker's empty lunch table. Find it, go there, bring love. May your heart be gentle today. May your steps be slow enough to notice the ones who feel invisible. May your smile open a quiet door, and may joy, the quiet kind, return to your heart as you help the lonely today. Peace begins with a smile. Let it begin with yours.